Ladies and gentlemen, we have three very important questions relating to the altcoin market and altcoins in general right now that I'm going to be answering in this video. First question, why are altcoins in danger right now? Second question, should you sell your altcoins? And third question, what is the biggest mistake people make when picking altcoins? Now, I don't want you to get confused, so I'm going to clarify off the bat. I do think we will see an altcoin season if Bitcoin continues to the upside, but that doesn't change the situation of danger in the altcoin market right now because we're seeing something different to what we've seen in previous altcoin seasons and previous cycles before. Doesn't necessarily mean we won't see the altcoin season. I do think we will if the market continues upwards, but it could be different to what we've previously seen, and hence it is a dangerous and uncertain situation. So we'll dive into these three questions today. I've got answers on all of them. They're nuanced. They're probably more nuanced than you think. Let's get into it. Just for 30 seconds here before we dive into it, Bitunix Exchange is the one exchange I advertise on this YouTube channel because it's global, non-KYC. Anyone who's watching this video right now can sign up with literally just an email address and a password. You don't even have to link your identity to the exchange if you don't want to. Very accessible globally. You can look at the screen right here. They've upped their rewards to $8,000 US. If you sign up with my referral link down below, you can get $8,000 US in rewards in USDT by completing rewards in the reward center, and also access to my exclusive 15% trading fee discount. Just with that link down below, you sign up, you get that 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life on every single buy and sell. Guys, this is an exchange that's global on KYC, an exchange that's never been hacked before, an exchange that's already very low in trading fees, made even lower with my referral link discount. So use that link down below to sign up. Takes 30 seconds, non-KYC. Check it out if you're interested, guys. Diving straight into these ones here today, starting with the first question, why are altcoins in danger? Let's give you the outline here. The altcoin market moves with Bitcoin. Bitcoin controls the altcoin market. That's simply true because Bitcoin controls altcoins and cryptocurrency in general. It's the one thing that drives the entire market as a whole, and therefore what Bitcoin does directly affects what altcoins do. When Bitcoin enters a parabolic bull market to the upside and people start getting very, very greedy, they start seeing Bitcoin as something with a low potential return. What do, guys? They filter their money into altcoins. That's why, historically speaking, we have only seen altcoin seasons in rapid Bitcoin bull markets. You do not see an altcoin season in a Bitcoin bear market. In a Bitcoin bear market, Bitcoin dominance rises. People flock into Bitcoin for safety and security. Altcoins are not seen as lucrative investments. They all just go to the ground and die. It's only when Bitcoin rises that altcoins go upwards even more and start outperforming Bitcoin. Knowing that Bitcoin controls the altcoin market, we can look at the 4-year cycle and extrapolate that forward to altcoins. When Bitcoin's in its 4-year cycle bull market, which it's in right now, and it should be ending if it continues, which is a whole different story, around October 2025, we can expect there to be an altcoin season that goes until around October 2025, just like in the last two cycles, right? For example, we had an altcoin season in 2017 that ended around when Bitcoin topped in December. You can see that on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance crashing downwards until December when Bitcoin topped. As soon as Bitcoin topped, right, Bitcoin dominance started rising. People started flocking into Bitcoin for safety. Exact same thing in 2021. Altcoin season began when Bitcoin started going upwards in late 2020, and by the time Bitcoin topped out in November 2021, altcoin season had ended, Bitcoin dominance had bottomed, and Bitcoin dominance started pretty much going sideways and eventually rising once again. So we can expect that if there's a Bitcoin bull market, which we are seeing right now at this point in time, and within the 4-year cycle, it should be ending around October, we can expect there should be an altcoin season until around October. Now, here's the thing, right? The 4-year cycle is based on date range trends. It's based on date range measurements. Every single top, every single bottom is within this kind of umbrella pattern with date range trends. So is the Bitcoin dominance cycle, right? Because if Bitcoin controls the altcoin market and Bitcoin moves on date range trends, therefore the altcoin market does as well and Bitcoin dominance does as well. And we can see this very clearly. Bitcoin dominance, for example, from the time it started dropping in around February 2017, took about 322 days, exactly 322 days actually, to bottom out in January of the following year. It took again around 322 days, in fact exactly 322 days to bottom out in the 2021 cycle. So we have a trend here. We have a trend on Bitcoin. We have a trend on the Bitcoin dominance chart. It takes 322 days from when Bitcoin dominance starts dropping to the end of the altcoin season, when Bitcoin dominance reaches its low. Now, hypothetically, seeing as we're in a 4-year cycle, we should see the same trend again. We should see Bitcoin dominance taking 322 days before it bottoms out. And hence we should be seeing altcoin season lasting 322 days. Now, we know Bitcoin will top out in around October as per 4-year cycle. If the 4-year cycle continues, again, that's a whole other story. We're going off the assumption that it will. So if that was the case, well, guess what? Back here, when we saw our initial Bitcoin dominance top in November 2024, which is around the same time of the cycle that Bitcoin dominance topped in the prior 2 cycles, 322 days from that point would have taken us exactly to October 2024. It was the perfect top as per the 4-year cycle. The problem is now Bitcoin dominance has swung back to the upside, and now if it took 322 days from when we've recently topped, we would be going all the way into December and potentially even January next year, which is too long. It's too far out. This means that this time, right, the trend that has encompassed the altcoin season on the last 2 cycles, the last 2 occasions, has kind of been broken. We don't really know what's going to happen now. It doesn't necessarily mean we won't see an altcoin season, because if Bitcoin dominance continues upwards, if Bitcoin continues upwards, and we know that altcoins move in relation to Bitcoin, it seems highly likely that we will, just based on technicalities. But the trend here, the 322-day trend, the 322-day altcoin season, doesn't line up with the 4-year cycle anymore, and therefore the altcoin market is in uncertainty and danger this time. We have to take a more cautious approach for that reason. That is why the altcoin market is in a bit of danger at this time. That's the first question answered. And naturally, with that question being answered, with us saying basically, yes, the altcoin market is in a bit of danger, the next question comes about, well, if the altcoin market's in danger, should you sell your altcoins? This is when we get into the next question. And the answer is not necessarily. The answer is it depends on the altcoin. I'll explain that more now. Right, well, as I said, I don't necessarily think we won't see an altcoin season. If Bitcoin continues rising, I don't see why market dynamics and crypto money and something called the crypto money cycle flow would change entirely. That's just how the market has moved historically speaking. If Bitcoin rises dramatically, people get sick of Bitcoin, they get bored of Bitcoin, they get greedy, they put their money into altcoins, we should see Bitcoin dominance drop. Even if it doesn't happen exactly the same as we've seen in the last 2 cycles, it should still happen. So I don't necessarily think you should just blanket sell all your altcoins and run for the hills and say, oh, it's all over, it's all coming to an end, just invest in Bitcoin, forget about altcoins. I don't really think that's the right approach, but I do think you need to be more cautious with your altcoin investments, and hence you need to invest in altcoins with ideal structures. Altcoins like Ondo, for example. And this is just an example. It's just an example of a structure that I find to be ideal, right? What we have here on Ondo, and we'll get into altcoins that you need to avoid investing in a second, but and examples of them structurally. What we have here on Ondo is a coin that has proven, right, time and time again over the last year, it's reached a high, right? It's gone upwards from its original price of 23 cents. It went to about $1.50. Okay, 5x in price over the course of months. We had a correction in the market. It went downwards. It formed a low. What you notice about this first low here is the low formed horizontally on a horizontal macro support range. It maintained its bullish structure. We then bounced from that low. We went upwards even higher. We basically doubled the initial peak we saw in May 2024. That was an excellent move going into December 2024. And now we've come back down, and it looks like we've got absolutely destroyed here. But once you do some charting, you realize what we've done is we've retraced right back down to, again, a major macro support zone. Previously, a major macro resistance. We've flipped this level for support, and we found what seems to be a double bottom on that support region, which again was previously major macro resistance on occasions. I'm circling right here, and again previously macro support back in June 2024. So this is an ideal altcoin structure. Compression against a major support zone. If the market swings to the upside, this coin should very easily swing to the upside. Furthermore, and we should see a double bottom, something like that. Furthermore, we look at the Ondo performance against Bitcoin, we look at the Ondo BTC chart, and we see a similar kind of thing, right? Yeah, look, it's not necessarily doing as well against Bitcoin as it was in 2024, but that's because the altcoin market as a whole is not, right? Bitcoin dominance as a whole has risen since that point, so you can't really expect it to, but it's also not getting decimated. We can see this horizontal low, just like on the price chart, we have this kind of double bottom formation. We formed in January, still in that same region. Against Bitcoin, it's doing the same thing. Horizontal low in January, still in that same region. We're not actively decreasing in value against Bitcoin on Ondo. That is a very good sign. Not only is it holding its own structurally on the USDT chart, it's also holding its own against Bitcoin, even in a Bitcoin dominant market environment. This is the kind of coin you want to be looking at. I'm not necessarily saying go buy Ondo, go all in on Ondo. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying coins like this, coins with clear strength, structurally speaking. Yes, okay, they're not down 80% on fire sale, but I'm going to tell you in a second why that's not the best coin to invest in. You want coins that are structurally sound. Peep is another example. Now, I know Peep, whatever, Pepe, whatever the pronunciation of it, right? Peep is... sorry about that. I'm a little bit sick, as you can probably hear. Yeah, it's a meme coin. Look, it's a meme coin. It's not going to have the best fundamentals, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't even think meme coins have bad fundamentals necessarily. I think in a way they probably have some of the best fundamentals. But look, structurally, it's sound. We have consistently higher highs, consistently higher lows, macro upwards trend on a diagonal basis. We're on that support. What do you think happens to Peep if the market bounces here, guys? What do you think Peep generally does? It skyrockets on these support lines. It's done it 1, it's done it 2, 3, 4 times. This will be the 5th time. Yes, if the market drops, it gets destroyed. That's a sign to get the hell out. This goes back to our question, should you sell your altcoins? Well, of course, if you've got an altcoin that looked like Peep a month ago, but now it's below that macro support, it's all the way down here. Yeah, get the hell out. What are you doing still holding it? It's structurally broken down. But right now, these are the kind of coins you want to be looking at. Coins with clear macro support zones, coins that are ready to pop, right? You don't want to be looking at these coins, and this is where we get into the biggest mistake people make when buying altcoins. This is the third part of the video here. We're entering it right now. You don't want to be buying coins, for example, like Beam. Because people look at Beam, for example, and this is the biggest mistake they make. They look at Beam, just an example. I don't have anything against Beam. They look at Beam, they think, oh yeah, fundamentals are great. I love the fundamentals. And look, by the way, it's also downwards 80%. That's really cheap. That's a great price. That means if I buy now, it's got massive upside potential and I'm getting in really low. Getting in low isn't necessarily a good thing. Because first of all, what the hell is it doing that low? If it's such a strong coin, if people, love the coin so much and it's so strong and it's got the best fundamentals ever, why the hell is it down 80%, right? You've got to ask yourself that. It's a double-edged sword when a price of a coin is cheap. Yes, okay, it could be dramatically undervalued. Perhaps that's the case. But it looks like it's just more likely that it's fallen off completely. It hasn't been able to retain retention. It had previously, like Ondo, it had this macro support zone. It was holding onto that macro support zone. It failed. We had this huge kind of pent-up top formation. We crashed right down. We haven't seen any light of day since. That is not a good structure. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's a good buy. That is the biggest mistake people make when buying altcoins 100% of the time. Just because a coin is cheap, just because a coin's gone down, it doesn't mean it will go up again. Guys, we're in a cryptocurrency market where 99% of altcoins that have ever existed, no one's ever heard of because they died off slow deaths, right? Coins have to go down before they die. Just because they go down, it doesn't mean they'll rise again. They only are likely to rise again when they have sound structures, like things like Ondo, like things like Pepe, right? That's the deal. So number one, yes, altcoins are in danger. It doesn't necessarily mean we won't be seeing an altcoin season. It just means that structurally, this cycle is looking a little bit different for altcoins, and therefore you do probably need to take a more cautious approach. Should you sell your altcoins? Well, it very much depends on the altcoin. We have coins right now that are at major decision points. And yes, if they break below their macro supports, like Ondo doing that, if Peep does this, for example, yeah, get the hell out. Or if you're in a coin that's already done that, look, it looks like that's probably a good idea if you did de-risk, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I can't legally. But should you sell them as a blanket statement, all of them? Perhaps not. Perhaps these coins that are still on these macro support zones where you can very clearly identify a place where you can set a stop loss, perhaps you should hold on a little bit and wait for the market to decide. And the biggest mistake people make when it comes to altcoin buying is certainly buying coins that are cheap. Cheap means nothing if they do not rise again. Guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's global, non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and you don't even have to link your identity to the exchange if you do not want to. That's old school. That's what crypto is all about, guys. Anonymity. That's what it's all about. It's the whole reason cryptocurrency has been invented. But of course, if you want to, you can. A 15% trading fee discount is available with my referral link down below. This is an exchange that's never been hacked before, an exchange that has hundreds of trading pairs, that has everything you need on an exchange. Trust me, I use it personally. We've got $8,000 US. Look at the screen here, $8,000 US in sign-up rewards with my referral link down below. That's insane. So check it out down below if you're interested, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. one more thing here. I almost forgot. The VIP group on Telegram, right? Wrong thing. VIP group on Telegram. 4 times a week I post altcoin trading signals. You get the gist, right? 78% win rate. Very good stuff. PDF document with all the trading results. It's good. Check it out if you're interested. Thank you guys. Have a good one.